Welcome to this week's episode of the Author Collaborative. As always, I'll be talking to an author whose book I have read and enjoyed. We'll be talking about the creation behind the book and how the author went behind writing the story. My guest this week is the author of the book Ras Leela, and we are going to talk about the book. His name is Brijesh Tangi. Oh, he's here. We had a slight hitch while trying to start the live initially, but hopefully we should not face any issue. Let me invite him and let's hope that we don't face any issue this time. Brijesh, I have sent you an invitation. See if you can accept that. Hello, head full of books. Hello, Dilli Meri Jaan. Thank you all for joining. In this week's episode of the Author Collaborative, my guest is Brijesh Tangi, and I have read his book Ras Leela. We'll be talking about the book and how he went about writing it. Do stay connected, it's going to be a really interesting conversation. I'm good, thank you. How are you? Hi, Sakshi. Thank you for joining. Brijesh, I have sent you a request. See if you can accept it. In case you are unable to accept or didn't receive my request. Okay, Brijesh didn't get my request. Can anybody help us figure this out? We are doing this for the second time and I don't understand. Brijesh, I accepted your request. The request that you sent me, I accepted it. Okay, I'm sending you a fresh request from my side also. Okay, I sent you a fresh request, Brijesh. See if you can accept it. I also accepted your request. I don't know. I don't think that worked either. Okay, this is very weird. Even if it's delayed, Instagram doesn't take this long. Even with the glitches, it generally does not take one or two attempts. Let's try again. Okay. It says you are unable to join. I have sent you another request. Hey, hi.
Hello, I think I have.
So, this is another Instagram glitch. I cannot see you, but I know you are there, and the audience is able to see us. So, we should carry on like this. I know you are there, but I can only see myself. It's like I'm talking to a wall, but I can hear you. I hope you are able to see me at least. Hello, are you there, Brijesh? Okay, I think I'll have to send him another one more request. Okay, Brijesh, I've sent you a fresh invitation. Hi, Amburaj. Thank you for joining. We are facing some technical issues, and Brijesh is unable to join me in the live. Hi, Brijesh, are you there? If you can let me know in the comments. Hi, Brijesh. Are you here with
I, yeah, I'm here, but I,
uh, okay, Sandeep, Avinash. Thank you for joining, everyone. Hi, hello, Nizam Tawqir. Hi, Yamini. Hi, Sankar Cool. Can you hear me, Brijesh? Hi, Prashant. There is some technical issue from Instagram. Please stay connected with us. We'll begin the live. Hi, Yamini. We can hear hear you. I mean, Brijesh, can you hear me? I do hear some
I
noises.
I am talking. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, but somehow I can't see you. I mean,
Yeah, I feel
let me just ask the audience. Can you see both of us? Let us know in the comments if both of us are visible and audible. Okay. Uh, we'll have to start like this only, I guess. Can you see me at least?
just in a minute. Hopefully, I will be able to. Yeah, I can see you.
Okay.
Manali, can you see me?
Somehow I can't see you. There's a circle that's going like this, like the buffering circle that we see on YouTube and other social media.
Okay, yeah, I think there's some delay. Yeah, I think we can start.
Yeah. Those of you all who are watching us from the audience, if you can let us know in the comments that everything is fine, you can see and hear both of us. That would be a great help. Otherwise, we'll have to start a fresh episode again. Uh, okay, who is with us here? Siddharth, Sandeep, Shashi, Shubha, Yamini, Lalit. If any of you can let us know in the comments if you can see and hear both of us, that would be great. Okay. So first of all, welcome to the Author Collaborative, Brijesh. I'm so happy to have you as a guest. We have Siddharth here who's saying I'm a huge fan of Brijesh, sir.
Really? Manali, I think there's like a really huge delay. I'm hearing everything twice.
Okay.
Let me
Let me do one
close.
thing.
Let me close the app and rejoin.
Yeah. Okay, you are not able to see Brijesh. Just wait a few more minutes. We'll start the live. I will add him again. Okay. There is some delay. Please stay connected. He will be with us again in a bit. I will invite him again. There is some technical issue. Okay, he is here. Brijesh, I am inviting you again. See if you can accept it. Hey, hi. Uh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you now.
Oh, perfect. But now I'm not able to see you at all. The buffering circle is also not there now.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. Yeah, I think we'll just start. Hopefully, I'll come up somewhere in middle.
Yeah, but the good thing is, whenever this happens, the audience is able to see both of us properly. That much I know.
Right, right.
So, hi. First of all, welcome to the Author Collaborative. I'm really excited to have you here and talk to you.
Likewise, I'm excited to be here with you. I've seen a couple of your author collaboratives. I really look forward to be here with you today. So yeah, let's just get started.
Yeah. Okay, so before we do anything, just can you give a brief introduction about yourself to the audience?
Yeah, so I am from Hyderabad. I'm presently located in Toronto. Uh, I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. I never hoped or thought I'll ever be able to write a book because I think writing a book is much harder than writing a screenplay for a film. Um, Somehow I got to write Rasleela and it just happened. I mean, it's not something I planned for. So, as I said, reading books and watching films are like my biggest hobbies or passions in life. Uh, so basically, storytelling. Anything to do with storytelling, I really love it. Yeah, that's about me. I have a 1-year-old baby.
Okay.
She's my life at this point of time. All my time goes in taking care of my baby. So yes.
Today's guest is Mr. India. Okay, I don't know if he's referring to you being absent or invisible on social media, or is it something else? Nilshri is saying that. Nilshri,
Okay.
please explain.
Yeah. Maybe she can elaborate on that. Oh, maybe because I'm invisible. That's the reason. Okay, I get it. I really wish you guys could have seen me. I don't know what's happening with Instagram.
Okay, Nilshri, your comment is making me nervous. Are you not able to see Brijesh? Let us know in the comments, because if none of you can see him, this is a problem. We can't see Brijesh, sir. Okay, so yes, nobody can see you. Yes, you are Mr. India. Brijesh, what I'll do is can't see him. Anil Kapoor, Mr. India. Okay, Brijesh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove you and add you again. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I am not able to do that somehow because Instagram is telling me you are not with me in this live. So you'll have to exit yourself and return so that I can invite you. Can you see the cross on your screen on the right hand side? Okay, I think Brijesh left. None of you were able to see him, so I'm going to add him again. Yes, Lalit, I'll add him again and we'll be able to do this smoothly, hopefully now. Okay, I think he is here. Let me add him again. I sent you request. Yes, I think you are with me, but let's make sure.
Yeah.
We have Brijesh here. I can't see him, but let us know in the comments if you all
Yeah.
can see him.
I think everyone can see me at this point.
Nilshri, Lalit, if you are still here with us, please let us know in the comments if you can see Brijesh and hear him. Okay.
Amazing.
Uh, Nobody's commenting. I think we lost most of our audience because we have been doing this for so long.
But are
Guys,
you able to
please.
hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, I am able to hear you.
Yeah, I think they
Yes,
can
Lalit has commented that he can see you. Okay, perfect.
finally.
Finally. Thank you,
Yeah.
Lalit, for your patience. Nilshri, if you are still here, we have the guest and he's no longer Mr. India.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so we were talking about your book. You told us that you live in Toronto currently and you wanted to be a filmmaker, right?
Yeah, I'm still pursuing that. I'm still on track with that. But yeah, book happened as such. I mean, I did not plan for it. It just happened one day.
Okay, Shashi has also confirmed. Thank you, Shashi, for confirming that you can see Brijesh, sir. Okay, so we are talking about Brijesh's book, Rasleela, and what a beautiful cover this is. So, I have to be honest with you, Brijesh. Ever since the book came out, and I saw the cover and I read the title, and I was like, I want to read this book, but somehow I could not get to it because my TBR is always, getting longer and longer. And I think at this point, my TBR is larger than my house. So I wanted to read it, but somehow I could not fit it in my schedule, and something or the other kept happening. But then now it's no longer in my TBR, and I'm finally glad to get it off from that list. And what an absolutely amazing experience I had reading the book. So kudos on that.
Thank you.
Because of the author collaborative or whatever forces of the universe happened, and we could connect and I could read the book, and I'm really happy I did. So once again, just showing the cover to everyone. This is the book that we are talking about, Rasleela, and I am going to read out a few passages from it first now. This is from the second chapter, and there's a freshers party going on, and this is what is happening. A girl stepped onto the stage, her confidence radiating through her every move. The opening notes of the popular Bollywood item number, Munni Badnaam Hui, filled the air and the audience erupted with excitement. The girl unleashed her talent, captivating everyone with her infectious energy. Each sway of her hips, each twirl, and each step set the crowd ablaze. They were enthralled, cheering and applauding, demanding an encore. Once more, they chanted, their voice echoing throughout the auditorium. Feeling a bit unsure, the girl hesitated, not sure whether to perform again. Just then, Vidya, a second year student who was hosting the show, stepped onto the stage and grabbed the microphone. She declared, that was fantastic, and we might even have a clear contender for Miss Fresher here. Still, the chants of once more continued. Vidya attempted to calm the audience. I know you guys love that performance, but we have many other talented performers tonight. Let's move on to the next one. Please welcome Gopika from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. The spotlight now shifted to Gopika. As she gracefully walked onto the stage, dressed in a resplendent red churidar, a wave of murmurs swept through the audience. The tension in the air was evident, as if a storm was brewing. Vamsi exchanged a glance with Chakri, a hint of skepticism in their eyes. She's going to perform a classical dance for freshers, Vamsi whispered. Chakri nodded, equally perplexed. I don't think the crowd is going to like that too much. So this is where our hero and heroine have met for the first time. I mean, they have not actually met, but this is where the story begins, and they are going to meet each other, and we are introduced to the heroine.
Right. That, that's the point. Yes.
And let me tell you one little secret as to why I chose this particular passage to read out. Firstly, I love college romances and teenage romance, young adult romances, and this was perfect beginning for that kind of a thing. So one reason is that, and the second reason, both my novels are teenage and college romances, and one of the scenes from that book is like very similar to this one. And I have also talked about the freshers party and how everyone performs, and there is a dance performance. One of the protagonists is a dancer, and I also talk about her performance in detail as I introduce her. So I was really relating my story to your story, and that's how I connected.
Yeah, that was the point when I was. I mean, the reason why I had to start in a college, make it a romance, is because the later part is obviously not something everyone goes through.
Yeah.
I wanted them to connect to this part first, so that's why it starts as a college romance.
Yes, and as I said, it reminded me so much of my own story, the novels that I have written, and they are also young adult
Right.
romance. And I was also talking about college romances. It was very similar, but I was very intrigued with how differently you have introduced your protagonist and how differently the story moves on from there.
Understood. You,
So
you okay?
yeah, you,
I
sorry,
thought
you
I
are.
was going to read something out of your book. Should I do that now?
We'll come to my book later. Abhi focuses on you and your book.
Great.
So, based on my reading, actually, I had a few questions for you. Are you ready to answer
Yeah,
those?
yeah, we can go with it.
So, let's talk about the story of Rasila. It's romance, okay, but it's not like a run of the mill romance. We don't see like there's not the swoon worthy romance where we see the protagonist falling in love with each other, and there's dates happening, typical dates, like they are going on movies and dinners, and all of that is not happening in the story. And I don't want to give out a spoiler, but the ending is also not very cliched or conventional. So I want to understand, how did you come about developing such a story? I mean, how did the concept come to you that I want to write such a story which is not a typical, romantic story? And take us through the challenges that you faced while the conception happened, while you wrote the story, while you published it, and the reception of the story after the book came out.
Okay, to start off with, why did I? How did I come about this story? Right. So I was in New York once. I mean, one of these days, like a couple of years ago, I was in New York. Somehow somehow this idea struck to me, which said, "What if two exes meet in New York?" And I think it was the atmosphere there. It was actually a sunset, and the the atmosphere made me feel maybe I have to write something else. Okay, and then I said, okay, fine, let's think about it some other time. And this kept coming back. This idea kept coming back, but then I did not have any like a plot, anything, any basic plot for it. I just keep thinking I should write something. This is when, uh, and I was also good. Like you, I just told you about my filmmaking, right? I have already shot for a film, and there are a couple of challenges after shooting the post production. There's a lot of challenges, right? So personally, with my art, I had given a lot towards my film, and I was not getting anything back at some point. I've not got the fruits of it yet. We are still in the process of getting fruits from it. But then this was also in my head all this time. And then somehow I decided I have to make the female lead a dancer because I've my sister is a dancer, and I've also known people a lot of dancers, and the dance form really intrigues me. Both Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi. I've seen these dance forms very closely. Like my sister used to dance at some point, and I've known a couple of people in my life who are like professional dancers. And I thought I should not tell a story about filmmaking, but I can say the challenges are going to be the same, right? And I wanted it to be a romance as well. So I just, these are random thoughts, okay? And I'll tell you exact point when all of this came together was I somehow was reading about actual Ras Leela. What is Ras Leela? What is Ras Leela? So Ras Leela, we all, maybe the movies, maybe the Hindi movies, the Bollywood movies have given, or the usage of word Ras Leela is not in like a positive notion, right? We generally have this different notion about Ras Leela. So when I researched enough about Ras Leela, I understood that it is basically Lord Krishna uh, dancing with a group of gopikas, and this is not romance. This is very spiritual. The dance is very spiritual. Actually, Lord Krishna dances with Radha, but then he's also parallelly dancing with all other women are so much connected to his music that they are connecting with Lord Krishna. They're dancing with him. They feel they're dancing with him. But he's just dancing with one person, they're not with everyone. This is their connection to God. Okay. So here, and Vamshi basically means flute or tune. Generally, that's how it is. Gopika is obviously Gopika. And Gopika's art form, that is dance, is the god here. So my connection was Vamshi is a medium through which Gopika will connect to God. This is what I had. This is the line I had. Okay. And how will I get to this? How will I get to this is what I did in the story. Yeah, this is how I came about it. And yeah, Gopika goes through a phase where she faces a lot of challenges with her art form. And personally, I was also in the same phase. I was facing a lot of challenges with my art form. But then the answer I was giving myself, maybe I was answering my own questions. That is, you are being blessed by some art form. You are able to tell a story. That's your connection with God, and that's all about it. The fruits, the rewards, and all will come, may not come, but at least you have your art form. That's about it. That's how I came up with the story. Yeah, everything else inside is what is a storyteller does, but then that's the basic line on how I came up with the story.
Wow. Oh, I am so happy to learn the tidbits about the story and the little details that have gone into it, especially the naming of the characters,
Yeah.
Vamshi and Gopika, and then how Vamshi becomes the source of her finding the passion. Because that's what the story is about, and that's the part that I love the most. I have to tell you
Right.
that, what we call in Hindi the Sutradhar. That's what Vamshi is in this story.
Right. Right. Correct. Correct.
We have Lalit here saying, "Hi Brijesh sir, metaphors are beautifully blended in Raslila. Any real life incidents blended? Please let the audience know, sir." Yes, you have another question from the audience. Would you like to answer that first?
Yeah, real life, as I said, the opening, obviously, I was not going to meet my ex, but I was in New York. I was looking a lot around me. And what Vamshi feels initially, right? When he goes around New York, when the parallels I felt, I mean, I really love uh, I really love Hyderabad. That's where I'm from. So, and I try to find Hyderabad everywhere I go. So I find, okay, we have the same thing in Hyderabad. This is in Hyderabad. I keep feeling maybe Hyderabad, I can get back to Hyderabad someday. That's kind of a dream. Going back to Hyderabad someday is my dream. Now I'm in Toronto. So yeah, that's something. It's from my real life, and a lot of little details. Like I studied in south of Tamil Nadu. The place is around like when I go by train, it takes around 24 hours for me to reach my college. So those 24 hours, I would imagine. So you must have when you read, you must have read a lot of things about the train. The lead is in the train. They're continuously in the train.
Right.
So I really used to enjoy that 24 hours, and he used to imagine a lot of things. And obviously, I was too young. I was 18 when I started taking 18 to 21. I was taking a lot of 24 hours. I used to imagine what if I had my girlfriend here. What if I could share this? What if?
Okay.
So all those what ifs also are there. It's not something it actually happened, but a lot of things that happen are in there. Even the college thing, right? The college romance, whatever is there. So okay, the one where Gopika meets Vamshi in the corridor, right? That is from my real life. I had dated someone back in school. That kind of
Okay.
happened. That kind of happened. The
Oh.
girl was the girl was really forward. She came, talked to me in a corridor, and I had all this bunch of eyes at her because we were very young to do that, honestly. But then the girl was really forward, and I really liked that. What the image of that incident stuck in my head, so that is there.
That's how it became a part of this story.
Yeah, somehow it just came into the story. So other than that, I think everything else is imaginative. The struggles of the artists are something I know. I personally experience, and even the people who are in the art, like the dancers, the singers I meet, they keep telling. So you understand these couple of things where okay,
Okay.
there's a scholarship. People, not all of them get it, and all of that. But yeah, that's how I got about the story.
Swarnali's here. Swarnali, it's okay. You can watch the episode later. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for joining, Sonali.
Okay. So, I know, like myself, you are also an indie author. So, my next question is related to your experience as an indie author. Uh, how are you able to find an audience for your books? Because we don't have a backing of the publishing houses really. We are on our own. We are our own publishers. We are our own promoters, and we have to reach out to the audience ourselves. So tell us about the promotional techniques that have worked for you and that have not worked for you. What are you still trying to do? To be able to reach a newer and wider audience for your book.
The promotional techniques that have worked for me are reaching out to people personally. I mean, someone is a reader, ardent reader, maybe talk to them. What has not worked for me generally is reaching out to these groups of mass reviewers. I mean, I'm not against any of them, but then the really acclaimed ones, right? Like there's some people who have around 1 lakh, 2 lakh followers on Instagram. So when you go with them and have a bulk review with them, what happens is the amount they charge, the fees they charge is too high, and the number of
Yes.
people they reach is not as much, sadly. But then there are newer guys who are just readers and reaching out to you for so that they want to get a copy of the book. They will read it and they will give a genuine review. I think my book has reached more number of people that way. I mean, I sent a book, they review, they have this small group of other two, three
Hmm.
friends who will definitely go for it. The bigger bunch, the big reviewers who are on Instagram, sadly, I'm not sure if though they really are able to influence the readers, their
Hmm.
readers, to get our books out there.
Hmm.
And I want to do something that I'm not in India, sadly. If I was in India, I would have gone to Book Fest, the other places where I can go sell my book directly. I want to do that someday. Next time, probably when I'm in India, I'll try to do that. But I think that works. I've heard from a couple of people. I have a friend, a Facebook friend, who had actually published self-published a book. He made me understand how to self-publish, and he gave me a couple of ideas, which I am going to implement and let you know if it works. But then, yeah, the name of the friend is Amir Bag. He has also published a couple of books named Maya. They're on Amazon.
Okay.
So he has really helped me a lot, honestly. So
Okay.
he made me understand the entire process. He has already researched everything, and he just kept everything he researched on a platter for me. I followed everything he's done, and that's how I got to Press as well. He suggested
Okay.
Notion Press. He said
Oh.
maybe the first time you go for a self-publishing, you have to work with these guys so that you know the process. Next time you can do whatever you want, but to start off with, maybe Notion Press can help you out. And
Okay.
they've been really helpful. They've been really helpful. They've been really patient with me. We were going over and over the book edits, the covers. I'm so happy you like the cover. I was on the back for 15-20 days, not saying okay to any of the covers. Finally, I got a cover I really liked.
Okay. No, I have to tell you, and I think I have mentioned it in my caption when I announced our live also. When I announced the author collaborative, I have specifically mentioned in my caption, I think, that I have been hearing good things about the book. Yes, that was one reason, but ever since I saw the cover and the title, I love everything related to movies and Bollywood. So your title, Ras Leela, caught my attention first, and the cover, along with it, the cover. Both the things were like, ये तो मुझे पढ़ना ही है क्योंकि it's right up my alley. ये मुझे पता है मुझे पसंद आएगी book. So the cover was the first thing that caught my attention.
Right, great.
So that, yeah, whatever you said, I agree with everything. And as you said, those reviewers with a very high following, I also don't agree that, investing in those kind of reviewers really works out in the long term. I mean, they charge you a lot, and I'm not sure if the results are worth the investment that you are doing. So I also don't recommend those. And as you said that, the reviewers with small number of followers, they are the genuine ones, and they will make an effort to, actually read your book and, point out the things that you might have missed. कि हाँ मैंने ये भी लिखा था. So those reviews are like, wow, somebody noticed what I was trying to say.
Right. No, sadly, I also had this feeling when one of like accomplished reviewer on Instagram with a quite a number of followers. When I read the review, I understood they did not read the book, which
Hmm.
is very sad. I mean, even if you don't help me sell a copy, I expect you to read a copy.
Exactly.
That's about it.
Yeah.
That's about
If
it.
I'm reading, the ones that, annoy or, irritate me the most are the reviewers who take your review copy and don't read it. या तो पढ़ के वो पढ़ते नहीं है और रिव्यू भी नहीं आता है या तो वो पढ़ते नहीं है और रिव्यू ऐसे ही डाल देते हैं. These are the two kind of reviewers that I get really annoyed by, because we have put in so much effort as a creator, as somebody who has written the stories. The least you can do is respect us by reading the story.
As a debut writer, that's all you want. Read
Yeah,
my book. I don't want anyone to like. I don't want to mint money out of it. I want you to read my book. Give me
exactly.
a review that says it's good or not good. Why is it not good? I also want to hear why is it not good. If it's not good, why is it not good? Tell me so that I can write my next copy better. That's
Exactly.
about it. That's all I want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have two questions. First is by Lalit. You mentioned that you are a writer director. So can we see the book turned into a screenplay, as it gives cinematic experience while reading it a flow? Book lovers like us want it to reach more. So yes, I also want to know. Are there plans for converting the book into a movie?
Yeah,
Or
definitely. No, definitely yes, but not immediately. I think
Okay.
I'll take a break from filmmaking at this point, at least for at least for one next 1 year. But yeah, it's a
Okay.
dream. It's a very huge dream of mine to make this because making a romance based on dance into a movie will need me convincing a lot of people, which I don't have energy for at this point. But yeah, that's a dream I want to
That would be
go by. Yeah.
wonderful because, as Lalit has mentioned, you get a cinematic experience by reading the reading itself. So I'm sure it will be wonderful to watch it on screen
Yeah,
also.
hopefully.
We have another question from Nilshri. Nilshri saying, how does a writer differentiate between author and screenwriter?
Oh, that's
Uh,
a great question.
Curious to know how different is screenwriting.
Yeah, uh, so let's because I started with screenwriting. Screenwriting is much simpler. It's just that you have to imagine what is coming on the screen,
Hmm.
which we all have done.
Hmm.
And see, let's suppose if I write, what if the same scene, when Vamshi looks at Gopika, right? When in this first time he's looking at her for the very first time.
Hmm.
If I write it in screenplay terms, I would say Vamshi is looking at Gopika and is awestruck by her.
Hmm.
That's about it, right? But here you have to show how is Gopika looking, what is she wearing. You have to
Hmm.
write everything down,
Right.
and why does that impact Vamshi, and what exactly is happening inside.
Hmm.
So this image you have to generate in words. There
Hmm.
we have actors, so you just write, okay, this is there. You go, you say, you ask the actor to do this.
Hmm.
But here you have to put everything on paper. Everything has to come out in paper. So yeah, that's the major difference. I'd say screenwriting is a easier task compared to authoring a book, but filmmaking is another case. But yes.
Hmm. Okay. Wow, you explained it so simply and nicely. Thank you so much for Nilshri. First of all, thank you for asking the question, and thank you, Brijesh, for answering it so well.
Yeah, it's a great question actually.
Okay, so that brings me to the end of the questions. The audience, if you have any questions more for Brijesh, please feel free to add them in the comments. We'll come back to them later. Now the floor is yours, Brijesh. You have also read my book, so on to you.
So let me start by saying, I was surprised that you designed the cover as well, and that's a really sweet cover. Um, I had looked at. I mean, I've sadly I've not been reading a lot of books because of my schedule. But recently I've liked couple of covers. One was the cover of Durjadatta's latest book, and then the other one is yours.
Oh,
And I was
thank
really
you.
surprised to see that you had designed the cover. And honestly, while going into it, I did not know this was a collection of short stories. Okay, I was like, maybe this is a novel. But then when I started reading it after the first story, then the second story, I was like, okay, this is a collection of, beautiful short stories.
Okay,
Um,
so
the
this is the cover.
thing,
Showing the audience the cover.
oh yeah,
This is the book.
that's the beautiful cover there with the headphones on. It's so
Yes,
iconic, right? For like our generation where we used
yes,
to wear the
exactly.
headphones. We did not have this. We had only that, and that was like the image of a really happy couple. Sharing the headphones is like all you wanted to do at that point of time. So
Yeah.
it was also nostalgic. A lot of it. A lot of your book is giving that feeling of nostalgia, and I am like a big sucker for old retro Hindi
Oh,
songs. I love
wow.
old retro Hindi songs. I That's all I listen to most of the time. Even the ones I listen, like Sanam's recreation of these songs, right? I listen
Hmm.
to a lot of them. So most of the songs, when you your so let me give in more detail. So your short stories have these beautiful bits of songs from old Hindi movies, which are iconic, and it also goes with the flow of the story. And it was, I mean, I for personally, this is the first time I ever read anything like this. I'm not sure if you got
Okay.
inspired or it was really like your own idea, but then what is really good about it is it is really original in that space.
Thank
It's
you so
really
much.
original. And even before getting into a story, you set up a mood with the song. right? Sorry for that. So
No
yeah,
problem.
I loved a lot of story, and the thing I really like about it is just the song, the format of having a song in the book is what you generally followed, but every story has its own format. It's not going. It's some are going linear, some are non-linear. Some you have recalls coming back and forth.
Yeah.
I really liked a lot of your writing, and like I felt a lot of them. I was a part of some these stories. I mean, I saw them somewhere or it happened to me.
Oh,
Something like that. It was all really cute. Like I
thank
mentioned, I think I messaged you. I said it's like uh, I have a feeling. I make chai at around 5 or 6 in the evening. I listen to the old
you.
songs. I get a feeling, right? That's the exact feeling you give when I read your books. So
Oh,
that's
thank
that's
you.
that's really beautiful about it. And I liked a lot of stories,
Thank
but one story really surprised me. I would like to read a passage from that. Um,
I'm just going to say thank you to the people who have appreciated the cover. We have my fiction flake corner, Lalit and Nilshri, who have said that they love the cover. Thank you so much. Before you move on, I just have to share an anecdote related to the cover because everyone is loving it, and I'm sure they are going to love what I'm going to share. So, the thing about the cover is when I finished writing the book, the cover was the last thing that I wanted to do. I did not want it to hamper with my writing of the content of the book, so I kept the cover for the end. And I released the book in February. So in around January 15 or 20, 15 से 20 के बीच में, I sat down to design the cover. I had a couple of ideas in my head that this is what I want to show on the cover. It has to depict the a sense of all the stories, not just one story. It has to cover the basic idea of all the stories, not just one. And I wanted to show this couple where they are, immersed in music. So once I sat down to design the covers, somehow I got so lost in it that I had 12 covers designed.
wow,
And and I was like, यार ये तो clarity से ज्यादा confusion हो गया, अब इसमें से कौन सा चुनूं मैं? So then I went on my social media and I put up, a Google document link saying that, I'm calling out everyone to help me with choosing the cover for my next book. And what an enthusiastic response I got. I created a group of 19 people on WhatsApp, and that is how we chose the cover. It was based on polling. And as I was mentioning, there were 12 covers. And we had a really difficult time choosing between two covers. And it was such a fun experience. All the people in the group, those 19 people, they helped me choose this cover. And the positive response that the cover has received, I just want to thank all those 19 people who helped me select the best one.
yeah, a lot of. I mean, it's a great work. 9 people together, they've done such a good job, and you personally making the cover so beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, we can move on now.
Okay, so this is I forgot the chapter's name. Wait, I'll tell you the chapter's name.
Nilshri saying Swamvar. Yes, it was. So Nilshri was part of that group, those 19 people. So
Oh,
she is saying Swamvar. Yeah, it was really a Swamvar. Uh,
I forgot the name of
tell
this
me,
chapter.
tell me the essence of the story. I'll tell you the title.
This is the one that has Shreyash Bakshi in it.
Shreya.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. So this is the one. Wait, the friendship wala, no?
Ah, correct.
The one where they are meeting in the airplane.
In the aeroplane. Correct. That's the one.
Uh, wait. It's chapter number 9. Heart has started to love you. So you
Correct.
can go to the contents page and click on the number 9 story.
No, I have the page I want right here, but I
Okay.
don't have the name of the chapter. Anyway, so
So
that's the one. I'll tell you the reason I really like it because the other ones they have romance in it, they have love in it, they have like a relationship part. And I personally felt the friendship here is really beautiful. The friendship you mentioned here, and it hit you by surprise. It's not like there's a question in your mind as well, Shreyas Bakshi is going through a question which also the author is going through. And I
Hmm.
was like, okay, fine. What is it gonna be? Then the reveal.
I am so happy that you picked this particular story because I have a few reviewers who I now consider my really good friends, and they didn't comment on the story. They gave a very good review to the overall book and they enjoyed all the stories, but nobody spoke about this particular story, and this was very close to my heart because I tried something like this for the first time. So I wanted to be really sensitive about what I wrote in a funny way, but I wanted it to be a sensitive, not hurting the sentiments of anyone. So I was really excited to know कि ये story के बारे में तुमको कैसा लगा. So I personally asked them कि ये story कैसी लगी, and they were like हाँ अच्छी थी, but it was not really wow. ऐसा कुछ surprise नहीं था. I am so happy that you picked this story. Thank you so much.
Great. So let me read this. I mean, exact point where I was like surprised.
Hmm.
Okay. Beneath the lyrics in smaller handwriting, a name had been written inside a friendship band doodle. Shreyas Bakshi. A flashback from 13 years ago, the school playground. A group of lads be seeing a boy from their class. A boy who had often concerned, bullied, and teased for being soft. A boy who had always been kind to him. A boy who had always seemed lost. A boy had stood up for that day. And on many occasions after that, a boy he'd since been best friends with. A boy whose music interest had been shockingly similar to his. And the when you talk about music interest, right? And every time you do that, I I'm not sure if I'm connected on that with anyone, but I'm sure there should be a connection which happens when we share music interests. I think so, at least. With when two people have the same kind of music, maybe they have some other connection. And I started feeling it from your book. Sorry for stopping it in between, but I really wanted to share that. A boy.
Thank you. No, you've won my heart by choosing the story itself. So मेरा तो दिल गदगद हो गया है यहीं पे. So I'm yeah, and as you said, sharing similar music interests is something that that is very undervalued. I feel दो लोग जो connection होता है, and if they have similar music interest, I believe that they can become the best of friends.
Right.
If they pursue it, of course.
Yeah, I think it's also a thing, right? When you drive with someone, if you share
Hmm.
the same music, the drive becomes easy.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Very,
right. I've experienced
very,
that though.
very true. Very true.
Yeah, I've experienced that though. Yeah.
And
So then
sometimes it surprises you. The person who is playing the song and their choices, if they match with
ah,
yours, you are like, wow,
ah,
ये तो मेरा भी
right,
favorite है
right,
ऐसा.
right, right. And you're also like you couple at times you think, right? अरे यार उसको तो अच्छा लगता है वैसा ड्राइव पे जाना ये गाना
Hmm.
सुनना वो मजा आता है उसमें that kind
Yes,
of a thing.
exactly. Those of you who are listening to us and are confused about this, each story in this book is based on a Hindi song, and the story that Brijesh has just read out, it's titled "My Heart Has Started to Love You," and it is based on the song "Lagan Lagi Tumse Man Ki Lagan" from the movie Pop.
Right. Yeah, I think everyone listening here have to definitely give this book a read. And since there are a lot of short stories, you can like read something, forget about it, and read it again. It's a really fun, uh, I'd say, a really heartwarming read. I
Thank
think
you.
everyone has to give this a
Thank
read.
you so much. Thank you. And once again, I cannot reiterate it enough that you have chosen the story and won my heart at that. Okay.
Yeah, let me read the last lines. Well done, Mishreya. Wanna meet and catch up for. Sorry, let's do it again. Well done, Mishreya. Wanna meet and catch up over a coffee? Aditya smiled and typed in a message as he hailed a taxi and departed from the airport. And this is when I read this, it hit me. And the image of them meeting for a coffee, which is gonna go happen next, it really like touched me. That's the point. That's why I immediately like made a note of this story. Actually, I really like it. I really like how it unfolds. Right, it's just very beautiful. The way it starts, if there's a question you pose, and in understanding the answer to it, you make it emotional, and you've done a great job with the story. I mean, generally with the book and with the short story, it was I was like,
Thank,
wow, that was so good.
thank you so much. That really means a lot. And especially, of course, I was worried about the sensitivity part because I don't want to give any spoilers, but this particular story is, based on a minority group that we don't generally talk about or we are not very comfortable talking about. So I was worried about that part. And also, all across the stories, I was worried about getting the humor right. Even in this story where I put in light humor, I was like, लोगों को समझ में आएगा? Will they even laugh or chuckle, or will they smile, or is it too much?
No, it was great. It was great. I know. We all have like. I mean, obviously, this is a question you have in your head. Will this be accepted? But then you
Thank
made it so cute that it definitely had to be accepted by everyone.
thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so much. So yes, based on your reading, I'm sure you also have a
I
few
have a
questions for me.
couple of questions. So since I'm not like a regular book author or writer, and you've done a couple of books, so you are like a senior to me in this. I want to know what you have a story in your head, right? Do you have a routine? Like, do you write? Do you have like particular time? You take a time out every day, every week that I have to write, or you just write when you feel like it?
It's a mix of both, actually, Brijesh, to be very honest. When I am motivated or working on a book, I am on a completely different schedule where I become like an obsessed woman who cannot think beyond the book and when to finish it and what happens in the next chapter or what will I do now. So when I'm working on a book, it's my whole schedule and my days revolve around that particular book. So same
Oh,
thing happened with Heartstrings and Harmonies. When the idea came to me almost a year ago, like in June 2023, the idea came to me, and I wrote the first story in June. And uske baad to I became obsessed for the next 6 months. I was like, come on, give me the next prompt. I want to work on the next story and bring out the book as soon as possible. So there was a schedule that I followed in those 6 months where on every Monday or Tuesday I wrote a new story. So a new story was coming out every week during that particular time when I was working on the book. But when I'm not working on a book, I don't particularly follow a schedule. I focus on reading. I focus on these author collaboratives, which I do regularly on every week. Every Friday I do this. So I focus on that. And I also have a very active blog. So I work on maintaining that, putting out content on the blog and on my socials, and on promoting the book that came out latest, which I'm doing through these author
yes,
collaboratives.
a great
So
initiative, Manali. Personally, it's such a great initiative that
thank you.
you're collaborating with various authors. We both are sharing our audiences, and that's such a great thing. I have to
Yeah.
thank you for that. Actually, I know I'll thank you again later, but then let me thank you because it's the time I say that. Yeah,
That means a lot. And I know how difficult it is to find a newer audience and readers for your writing. So this is just my way of not only helping the author that I'm inviting, but it's also helping me find a new audience, right?
right, correct.
So yeah, that's about it. That's what my schedule is like when I'm writing. When the book is already on the roll, uh, it's a different schedule. But after the book is out, I take a couple of months or maybe 2-3 months to get away from actively working on a book. Like currently, I'm not working on any book. I know what book I want to bring out next, but I'm not actively started, compiling the chapters or whatever content that I want to put in the book. I've
Understood.
taken a conscious break from book writing currently.
Understood. Okay, the next question I have here is this is about your style. I mean, I was really curious on how did you come about your style of referencing to old Hindi songs? Did you read anything that inspired you, or it's like it just come out from you like that?
So uh, there are two reasons for this. One, of course, is yes, I'm a great music lover as well. There's hardly any activity that I do during the day which doesn't involve music. Only when I'm writing. and the writing really needs my creative juices to be flowing without any interruptions. Only at that time there's no music going on in the background. Otherwise, when I'm cooking, when I'm reading, when I'm doing my exercises, when I'm out for my morning walk, all the time music has to be on. I cannot function without music in my ears. So that's one reason that music is such an important part of not just this book. If you ever get a chance to read my other books, you will realize that music is an integral part of all my books and stories.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I'm going to read other books of yours for
So
sure.
yeah, I have a separate playlist for all my books. There are songs mentioned in almost every chapter. So yeah, that's one reason that music is there in all my books. And there's one more reason. For this particular book, I have to mention this reason because the songs are such an integral part of each story. Like they are the lyrics also, I have consciously tried to make them a part of the story. And I've chosen stanzas where a particular situation matches the lyrics of the songs. So uh, for that, I came across somebody saying something somewhere, sometime. I don't know if that person was telling me or I heard it in an interview. I don't exactly remember, but I remember this person mentioning that you cannot combine two forms of creativity because it takes away from one, or you are not able to give justice to both of them together. And I was like, no, that's not true. You can have two forms of art blended and still nothing will be taken away from either of them. In fact, they might add to each other. So that's how the idea of combining music and writing came to me, and now the result is here.
No, it's a beautiful style actually. I personally love it because you're already in the mood of the story, and the song is in your head, so it helps really for the reading.
Thank you. I'm very happy to hear that. Because yes, I had that idea in my head, but as a creator, you will understand that sometimes you are also worried कि जो मुझे लग रहा है जरूरी नहीं है that it translates into the story, and the whoever is reading will also be able to catch the essence that I'm trying to put in.
Right, right. I understand. Oh, it's great.
But
It was really something. It's the first time I'm going to a style like that, and it felt really original and authentic for me, and it really helped the
thank you,
setting the mood up for the
thank
reading. I
you
really
so much.
appreciate you for that. I can appreciate you 100 times. And one thing I really like songs, like the retro songs, the Lagja Gales and all. I go about every time. All of the songs, every song you mentioned is like a must-have in the
Thank you,
playlist kind of a song, right?
thank you so much.
So
Thank you.
when someone takes your book, they also get a like a suggestion for playlist,
Yeah, it's a
right?
song recommendation also, right? You get a playlist of 30 songs.
Correct,
It's
correct.
like
That's
a
what I'm
nostalgia.
saying. Manali's Manali's playlist. I mean, you should have something like that in YouTube Music or somewhere else, so that everyone can just start playing it. I'm serious. It could be a thing, Manali. You should take it seriously.
So, but all my books do have a dedicated playlist on YouTube. If you go on
Oh,
my
you do
channel,
have.
A Rustic Mind,
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't.
if you go on my channel, A Rustic Mind, you will find all these songs.
Oh, let me check that out.
Yeah, the link is also there at the end of the book where I've provided Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube link
Oh,
where
it's
the
already
playlist is.
there. Okay,
Yeah, it's
okay.
already there.
Let me
Yes.
do that. Yeah,
We
those are the
have
questions.
Swarnali here who's saying music has a large part in my next book. I don't think there is anything wrong in blending two forms of. Thank you so much, Swarnali. Because when that person said that, I was like, नहीं मेरे साथ तो नहीं होता ऐसा कुछ that one form of art is interfering with my other form of art. It's always possible to blend the two, and creativity has no limit, I believe.
Yeah, I, I think that's not like a valid comment. I mean, it could be very personal.
Yeah,
It depends on you how you take about your art,
yeah,
right? You don't
exactly.
impose the rules of art are not imposed on others.
Yes.
It's individualistic, right?
Okay. So, Brijesh, that brings me to my favorite part of the episode, which is the rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go. Let's see what
So, how
questions you
we'll
have.
do it is we'll do it back and forth. I will ask one question and then you can ask me your question. Okay?
Sure, sure.
Okay. So my first question to you is because both the protagonists in your story have an equal say and both of them are equally important. I want you to choose Vamshi or Gopika. Who is your favorite lead character and the one you could relate to the most?
Also, as I said, Gopika is like a part of me, like another version of
Hmm.
me. So I actually am more related, and the book is generally about Gopika. So Gopika is my favorite here. But
Okay.
Vamshi, I think we all need a Vamshi in our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vamshi is equally important because, as I said, he's the Sutradhar in the entire story. Oh, and having that Sutradhar in your life is very important.
right.
Okay, your turn.
My turn. So, what's the last book that like really inspired you?
So I'm not inspired by one author or one book. I am inspired by genres. I've read a lot of romance stories as a young adult, and also while in my I was in my 20s. Uh, Oops, I just give out my age, but doesn't matter. So I read a lot of romance in my teenage and in my 20s. So I think the one genre that I have stuck to as a writer is romance. That comes out very well in all my writing, even poetry, short fiction, or both my novels that are romance. So I don't have an author, but as someone who grew up in the 90s, I can tell you that the authors that influenced me the most were Sidney Sheldon, uh, Nicholas Sparks. These were the authors that Enid Blyton and so many more. Like a typical 90s kid, you know, these authors were the ones that we read the most,
Right,
right?
I understand. Yeah,
Yeah. And then, of course, there was J.K. Rowling. So once she came into the scene, there was like no going further for to look for fantasy reads. She changed the scene entirely, and then that's how I found my love for fantasy also.
got it. Nice genres. Yeah.
Okay. The next question I have for you is the most challenging part when writing about an art form, like you have done in your book while writing about dancing. So, what is the that one most important or difficult part while writing about any art form? Fill in the blank.
You don't want to offend the because you're not a dancer. At least I'm not a dancer, so you
Hmm.
don't want to offend the dancers.
Hmm.
If anything, they should like the book, like
Yeah.
the parts of dance mentioned.
Hmm.
You don't want to make something on dance and make the dancers feel like they don't like it. They hate the book. The
Hmm.
dance has not been
Hmm.
portrayed well. I don't want to do that. So that's the most important like challenge when you get to writing something on an art form. You don't want to offend the people who are devoted to the art form, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely one of the most challenging ones. Okay, your turn.
Yeah. My turn. Next question. What's your like? What's your about your book Heartstrings and Harmonies? What's like this one word you or one sentence you would let's say you wanna uh, in the movie Wolf of Wall Street, tell me this pen, like that. Tell me this book. What's the one thing you will say to your readers? Why should they read this book? One word,
I
one
would say,
word.
I would say the one word I would say for selling the book, because that's what we are doing here. We are promoting our book, so I want more people to go and check out the book. So the one word I would say is relatable. Like when you read the stories, you will feel like either you have lived the story in your life sometime, or you have heard somebody experience it. So all the stories are very relatable everyday stories of ordinary people, I would say.
Yeah, correct. I'll say nostalgic for your book, but yeah, both maybe nostalgic and relatable.
Nostalgic also, yes, because I don't think there are any recent songs except one which I have picked from the movie Archies. All the songs are old.
Yeah, songs and the people. I mean, not old, but very relatable and like
Yeah.
someone we've experienced. We've been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question. Since you have talked about a lot of temples in your story, where Gopika is performing at different venues, we read about a lot of temples in the story. I want to know a pilgrim place or a temple that you have visited, which is your favorite, and why is it?
Okay, so for this, I have two here. Okay,
Hmm.
on my last visit to India, I've been to Hampi and Tirupati. I've been a lot of times too. This was my first visit.
Hmm.
I've been having, I've not got enough of Hampi. That is, we were there for 2 days, but I think there's a vibe to the place. It's just not about the temple. I think the place by itself is really a vibe in itself. So I
Okay.
wanna maybe get do a trip again to Hampi.
Okay.
And this time when I went to Tirupati, we generally in our state in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, we stay at least 2 3 days, maybe 4 days in Tirupati in the top of the hill for 3 days or 4 days.
Wow.
This
Okay.
time that didn't happen, and I think it's something to experience in Tirupati. They call it Tirumala on the top.
Hmm.
Uh, the thing is that the place by itself has makes you slow down, makes you feel a spiritual energy. I feel it, uh, and this time I didn't get a lot of it, and I've been having dreams about being in Tirupati. So I want to go to Tirupati the next time in India. So these two places, yes.
Okay. So Tirupati and Hampi. I'm definitely adding them to my bucket list.
Yeah, Hampi. I mean, Tirupati can be a little tedious going onto the hill and all of that.
Hmm.
It's like a, I don't know if everyone is gonna feel the vibe. You might not feel the vibe. You might feel the vibe. But Hampi definitely, I'm sure, like it's not just a pilgrimage. It's a very laid back and a surprisingly beautiful place.
Hmm.
The feel the place gives, the architecture around it is
Hmm.
really beautiful. And it's mostly ruins. I mean, there's no gods in a lot
Hmm.
of the temple. So it's good. You have
Okay.
to make a visit for sure.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's your turn now.
So, what's in your pipeline? You have a novel lined up, or a
There is a novel, but not this year. Sometime in 2025, I am planning the release of my third novel. So both my novels that I have released so far, they are a part of a series. It's called Love Trials, and Love Triangle and Love and Melodrama have already been out. These are the two books. I have the third book planned. I have not yet actively started working on it, but sometime in 2025, the third novel will come out. And this year, there will be a poetry book. So this is how generally I do my stuff. These are the things that I do related to my books. There is a poetry book that comes out every year, irrespective of what other books come along with it. But one poetry book has to come out every year. So there's a poetry book in the works, and I'm planning to release it by December.
okay. So, is it like a plan? You do you have a plan of like releasing one book every year, or anything like that? Anything solid in your mind that you make up?
Two books,
2 books
at
every
least
year.
two books a year. Yeah.
At least that's your plan.
Yeah, yeah. So this has been like a consistent thing that I have been doing for since 2020, and I aim to continue doing that. That I will bring out two books a year at least.
Okay, okay, great, great. I want to have a timeline of that, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that. Anyways, let's see.
Okay. My next question to you is a personal college life anecdote or experience which is a part of Rasila. Don't talk about that gate wala scene. We already have that answer now.
Right. Let me think. Part of still, I think we've mentioned couple already. With girl, with dance. Okay, it's a funny thing. Okay, I'll just tell you like a funny anecdote, and it's not like it has a huge part because we talked about the emotional parts and all previously. There is this part where I think a lot of guys do it, where Vamshi checks for Gopika's name on the because he doesn't know which coach she's going to be on.
Hmm.
So at least even I was in college and I had this period where I was not dating anyone. I used to check for any girl's name. Okay, they would put name, uh, are they male or female,
Yeah.
and their age.
It's
So,
yes.
so I used to like check anyone in their 20s, 18s, anyone in my age group, so that I can like around me. And sadly, never. only I think once I had a girl sitting opposite to me in like 4 years, but then yeah, it is, and you're not even courageous enough to go talk to the girl, but it's a thing. It's fun when you do that. So I did that.
I, I do understand that because as somebody who has traveled a lot in Indian Railways, I also used to do that. It's not just boys who do that. Let me be very frank. Girls also do it. They also want somebody in their age group to be around them so that, the travel becomes a little more fun.
Correct. Yeah.
It's not nothing like, कि हाँ मुझे इसके साथ flirt करना है ऐसा कुछ. It's just that you have somebody in your age group who can understand you, somebody you can talk to during those 4 5 hours or whatever the duration of the journey is.
नहीं, दिमाग में मुझे तो फ्लर्ट ही करना था, पर कुछ करने का दम था नहीं शायद. आई डोंट नो हाउ टू पुट इट, बट देन देखता तो था, चलो कुछ तो मतलब स्टार्ट तो कर दो, फिर अभी करता नहीं था कुछ नहीं.
नहीं मेरे को फ्लर्ट वाला नहीं था. आई जनरली सो my hometown was Surat and I studied in Bombay and I used to go home almost every weekend. तो वो 4 5 घंटे की जर्नी होती थी ट्रेन से and it becomes very boring after a while traveling alone. At that time इतना वो था भी नहीं कि it was probably in my mid 20s that I started appreciating how solitude is better than having any company at all. But वो age होता है ना जहाँ पे you want people around you want to talk to everyone. So I used to look at the chart like you said and I used to see कि कोई है क्या जिससे मैं बात कर सकूं और जर्नी थोड़ी कम लंबी लगे मुझे.
I'll
Okay.
go next. I'll ask you a question. Like, who's your favorite Indian author?
Okay, this is a difficult question to answer because, as I mentioned, I don't have favorite authors. I have favorite genres. But I will tell you about authors who have inspired my writing. There's Shilpa Suraj, of course, Shilpa Suraj, Alisha K, Andalib Wajid. These are the authors that I was reading while I was writing my books, and somehow they influenced my writing. It helped me a lot to understand that what my story should have and what I should focus on. So yeah, I don't have favorite authors, but I do have genres like romance and mystery and thrillers. In Indian authors also, I can recommend you books and authors that who have done really exceptionally well in both the genres.
Okay, I'd like to know the list.
Okay, my next question and last one. So Gopika's passion is dance, but what is Vamshi's? We never come to know about that.
That's very interesting, and I've thought about it personally. Because in this book, as such, he is just a medium. Honestly, what I understand, at least from whatever has come out in the book, is if you generally track Vamshi's behavior in the book, he is someone who likes to appreciate things. I feel his passion is life. His passion is for his life. Anything, I mean, he's not particularly passionate about one particular thing. Like when he's having upma, he's doing it with utmost love. When he's having the palkova in Srivilliputur, and Chakri is saying this is like dudh peda from, but then he knows there's a difference there. He has these questions about life which he keeps answering. There's this space where he becomes like stubborn in between, but then again he gets back to the normalcy, and he likes to, like, when he becomes that medium to Gopika, he had no personal motivation. It was just for Gopika. I think it's his life that is very passionate about.
Yeah. He's high on life, as
Higher
some
life.
people. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that brings.
what
Yes,
just last
sorry.
question. What story from Hearts and Harmonies is your own story? Something which is coming from out of your life?
Oh my God. There are quite a few. Okay, so there's this one story about a couple who has a tiff, and the husband is listening to the song, and the wife walks in. There's a little bit of humor, and so I think that is a lot of a personal touch because that's how me and my husband are like in our lives. We have a lot of banter. There's humor where we are pulling each other's legs, and the husband is kind of always the one who pulls the legs the more. So that's one story which is relatable for me and inspired from my own life a little bit. Then there's the story of two brothers, Mayank and Manav, and how the elder one is like an overachiever and the younger one is a little laid back. That is also one story which is very relatable for me because I also have an elder sibling who was an overachiever and I was the undershadowed, underperforming younger sibling. So that is another story which is inspired a little bit from my life. I think these are the two stories I can think of. But yes, there is a bit of personal touch in most of them. There's also a story where the girl is taking a bus and there's an older woman sitting next to her. The girl has just moved to the city. So that is also a relatable one for me because I also moved out of my house when I was just 17 or 18. And like that girl, I used to commute by bus, the local bus in Mumbai. And that's how I used to feel lost. And books were the things that helped me. So that is also another relatable one.
No, great. No, there are a lot of relatable things. I just wanted to know which comes from. I got the answer though. I wanted to know which comes from your life. Which
हाँ तो ये तीन
the
all
all the
three of
short
these
stories. There's 32 short stories. Is it 29? How many
29
short stories? 29.
29
And like I think most of them, at least like 90% of it is very relatable. Like something you've experienced, and some of them have this beautiful touch in everything where you surprise in like the last minute, the last
Thank
couple of lines. There's a surprise, which is beautiful.
you. So the three stories that I talked about, I'm just going to read out the names of those stories because I remember the songs. I don't remember the titles of the stories. The one story that I was talking about is "Don't Go Just Yet," which is based on the song "Abhi Na Jao Chhodkar," and the other one is about the two brothers, which is the world's slogan "Stay Vigilant," based on the song "Jame Raho" from Tare Zameen Par. That's another story. And the third one is we with dreams in my eyes I've left from home, which is based on the song Tanha Dil by Shan.
Yeah. Everyone watching, please read those stories. I mean, read all the stories. They're really beautiful.
So yeah, these are the three stories which are inspired by my own experiences in life. So I think that's about it. Did we answer all the questions by the audience?
Yeah.
Did we miss out anything?
Most of them are answered. Music has large part. Gotta go. Really passionate cover. Thanks. Cover. Pretty cover. So many compliments on the cover. I think we answered all the questions.
Yeah, so I think we are good to wrap it up. Thank you everyone for joining us. And
Hey,
for
thanks,
I did
everyone.
notice a lot of hearts coming in while we were talking about our books and while we were reading out from the book also. So thank you so much, everyone.
Hey, thanks, everyone.
And thank you to you, Brijesh.
Hey, thanks a lot.
As I mentioned, yeah, the universe made this happen, I feel, because I was wanting to read the book. It didn't happen, but we got in touch and this happened. And
I'm glad you
I'm
got in touch. I got to read your beautiful book with this beautiful set of short stories.
Thank you. I'm very happy that you enjoyed reading the book and also happier that you were able to join me on the author collaborative and we had this wonderful conversation.
Yeah,
Thank you.
after that, quite a glitch, we had this beautiful conversation
Yes.
here.
So thank you and have a great weekend. Hopefully we'll be able to do this again. Are you planning to write another book soon, anytime soon?
Maybe not soon, but yeah, I have something planned.
Nilshree is here again. अभी तक live हो मैं dinner करके आ गई. Yes, we had a wonderful conversation and पता ही नहीं चला time कब बीत गया. And we are just wrapping up. But Nilshree, thank you so much for being
Hey,
an
thanks
enthusiastic.
for being back, Neil.
So yes, Brijesh, bring out the next book soon. I want to do this again with you
Yeah,
as soon as possible.
let's do it again. Let's do it again. Bye, 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 bye.
Bye. Thank
Hey,
you. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
you too.